beautiful Omaha skies, and it's a picture-perfect night for USL League One soccer. Just 20 minutes down the road in Papillion, Nebraska, it's Union Omaha hosting Forward Madison, a pair of sides looking to get their fortunes trending in the right direction here on ESPN+. Here is a look at the current state of USL League One. You see Union Omaha and Forward Madison FC direct neighbors in the table. Union Omaha winless in their last 3 after dropping points in each of their first 2 contests this week. Forward Madison fresh off that 2-0 defeat against Northern Colorado. A tale of 2 sides for Union Omaha. The biggest storyline has been their attack. 6 goals in the last 2 contests. They've scored 9 of their 13 on the year in the last 4. Meanwhile, for Forward Madison, they boast the league's best defense. Just 4 goals conceded in their opening 7 matches. For Union Omaha, the key player to watch, Connor Doyle. He's the box-to-box holding midfielder, a deep-lying playmaker who's got assists in his last 2 contests. He's going to play a key role in bossing possession against a Forward Madison side that loads the midfield in that 3-5-2. For Forward Madison, it's a pair of players in both directions. For Isidro Martinez, an attacking revelation against North Carolina FC with a goal and an assist, and the goal of the week a few weeks ago. Meanwhile, Vern Shipman is the league's clean sheet leader, one of the top goalkeepers in all of USL League One. He's a tough man to beat for a red-hot Omaha attack. Just about set for kickoff here at Warner Park in Papillion, Nebraska. Union Omaha and Forward Madison squaring off. Lineups next when we return on ESPN+.
Bags are packed, are you ready to go? This time tomorrow we'll be on the road, riding with you in the sunnier days. I wouldn't want it any other way. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Already underway here for Nebraska as Forward Madison looks for their 2nd win in the last 3. Meanwhile, Union Omaha with just 1 win in their last 6, hoping to turn some of those recent draws into victories. Sam Goldfarb here bringing you all of the action. Union Omaha has changed their lineup, currently in a 3-5-2. That's Forward Madison's usual desired formation. You wonder from Coach Casciato, that is a change related to Madison's propensity to load the midfield. Martinez looks forward for Christian Cheney, top goal-scoring threat on this Madison side. Both lineups presented by Rotellas, as Cheney with a nice looking back heel towards Nazim Bartman, and that's broken up by Brito. Cheney looks for Sichero, who keeps it in play on the far side. Quick start from the Flamingos, and that ricochets out of play for a goal kick. So here are the lineups presented by Rotellas. Burn Shipman in goal for the visitors. Jacob Kroll, Mitch Osmond, and Sam Brotherton are the three defenders after Timmy Mel's red card last time out. Derek Gebhard, Mauro Sichero, Isidro Martinez, Aiden Macias, and Stephen Payne make up the five-man midfield, and Noe Meza is up front with Pedro Dolabella, who scored in his last two. It's Cheney up front with Bartman for Madison. Meza up top with Dolabella for Omaha, also in a 3-5-2 with Nuhu, Master Antonio, Alexi Suahi, and Shaft Brewer, the three defenders. And then the five-man midfield of JP Skierce, Joe Gallardo, Connor Doyle, Joe Brito, and Luis Heel. For Omaha, back-to-back 3-3 draws, blew three separate one-goal leads at Chattanooga. That was a match in which Coach Casciato felt like they gave away the momentum. The 3-3 draw against Greenville Triumph, he felt like they had the momentum, but it was three isolated incidents that cost them the 3 points. Here's Meza. Now for Heel, top chance creator in all of USL League One. And Dolabella drops the shoulder into Kroll. In that match on Wednesday, the Battle of the Belt against Greenville Triumph, Noe Meza second half brace powered Omaha to a 3-1 advantage in the 70th minute. But the visitors scored 2 goals in the span of as many minutes to level the scoreline by the 76th. And another potential 3 points went begging for an Omaha side that currently in a rare stint below the playoff cut line. One of the top brands in all of USL League One, with some work to do here as the calendar approaches June. Here's Payne. Searches for Cheney. And some nice interplay with Bartman. Cheney, just beyond his reach. Nuhu comes out and scoops up the loose change. Rashid Nuhu, the two-time reigning Gold Glove winner in all of USL League One, has made some pivotal stops these past couple matches for Omaha. We mentioned the 3-3 draw with Chattanooga at CHI Memorial Stadium last weekend. It could have been a 4-3 defeat. They ceded a late penalty at the death and stoppage time, and Walter Varela denied from 12 yards by Nuhu with the last kick of the match. That preserved a point away. And while Omaha felt they should have come away with all 3 points, to some degree a little fortunate to not come away empty-handed. Brito down the line for Brewer. Speedster on the left flank. Some pushing and shoving on the far side, and that goes the other way. This is Dom Casciato's first season at the helm of this Union Omaha club. We've mentioned the past success for Omaha. Back-to-back final appearances in their first 2 campaigns. One USL League One with a 3-0 defeat over Greenville Triumph in that second campaign. And last season, a 3rd consecutive postseason berth to begin their existence. For forward Madison, it has been a bit rockier. They made the postseason in 2019, have not been back since. Matt Glazer in his second campaign, hoping to ride the league's best defense back into late November. Here's the UNC Charlotte product, Brito. And Heel. Tap beyond the last defender for Brewer. The flag stays down. And there is the first corner kick of the night. This is a great ball, great interplay between Meza and Heel. Brewer holds his run up just enough, forced to the byline, and a good stop by Kroll on the diving slide tackle. But out of play for the first corner kick. Cross to the back stick, cleared only as far as Doyle. And now Heel. Shipman taking no chances at the near post. This is the second meeting of these two sides this season. A Midwest rivalry. They drew 1-1 on March 26th. Omaha scored the opener early, and then Christian Cheney equalized in the 55th. That was Matt Glazer's first game in charge this season. It was Casciato's first game in charge overall. Two sides looking a little different personnel-wise since that season opener. And of course, that match was played in Omaha, but it was played at the University of Nebraska, Omaha. This is a unique pitch, very narrow, smaller pitch to what much of the league is accustomed to. And Omaha themselves still adapting to this surface here at Warner Park. Heel with a low delivery. Cleared only as far as Brito, who will let it roll for a throw. Yellow already shown to Mauro Cicero. 27-year-old left a boot dangling on the far side there. May have gotten a piece of what looks to be Gallardo. First major set piece of the night for Union Omaha. This free kick much closer to the 18-yard box than the one we saw moments ago. Varsity Club, yellow card. Ball delivered and forces Shipman in action early. Luca Mastrantonio, the young center back from Rome, with a free header that got Shipman's attention between the sticks. Good delivery from Heel. Just jumped over the 6'5" Cicero, who seeded that free kick, and now the second Modelo corner kick for Union Omaha here. Taken short, Doyle. Tapped around, beyond the reach of Suahi, and Madison does just enough to clear their lines. spoken a little bit about the pitch dimensions, and that gets talked about almost every time Omaha plays at Werner Park. But this is just their third home match at Werner Park this year, sharing the venue with the Omaha Storm Chasers, and had to play their first couple matches of the year at University of Nebraska Omaha, their preseason at Creighton. They've only had 3 proper training sessions on this pitch, according to Coach Casciato. It is certainly a tough adjustment. You play so many matches on the road at full-size pitches, and now you return to this narrow setup, playing against a 3-5-2, so you know the center of the park's going to be clogged. Picking out those danger zones for their creative pieces in Meza and Brito. Maybe a little tougher than usual. And early on, you see the adjustment is to attack down that left flank. Shaft Brewer, who's playing outside center back today, has been charging forward with reckless abandon so far. Tolapella keeps in play for Gallardo. Select, the official match ball supplier of the USL League One and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit www.us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Just a little under a quarter of an hour gone here at Werner Park in Papillion, Nebraska. And no score between these two sides. Forward Madison looking to change that here through Cheney. Omaha has the bulk of possession, but very little in the attacking third that's actually garnered the attention of that back three for Madison. Macias weaving through traffic. Macias! And he gets forward Madison on the board. Aiden Macias has stunned the crowd here at Werner Park. The London man against the grain of play for the visitors. Macias' first goal of the year just picks up the loose change, weaves between the defenders. Nobody closes him down in time. And a rocket beyond the stalwart Rashid Nuhu. 15 minutes in, and forward Madison with a shock lead on the road. A man who began his career in England, played with the Charlton Athletic Youth Academy, then moved to QPR for the bulk of his youth career. Just 23 years of age. More known for his distribution ability, pounds that into the back of the net and gives forward Madison a lead against the grain of play here at Werner Park. A composed finish as well. We'll see how that affects the way the rest of this first half transpires. That's just the 8th goal scored by forward Madison all season. More known for their defensive ability. And speaking to Coach Glazer before the match, he said the biggest thing for them was creating more chances and taking them with more aplomb. Considering that was their first major opportunity, I don't think the second-year headman will be too disappointed with that. looking to build through midfield, and Dolabella poked off it by Osmond. You wonder how much the continuity affects things. For Omaha, they've been playing with a back four pretty much all year. Usually a 4-3-3 or a 4-4-2. They've changed that tonight to match the formational alignment of a forward Madison side that has pretty much plugged in their key starters into this matchup. The only change was forced by Mel's red card suspension. And Sam Brotherton has really not been the man targeted by Omaha's build-up networks. Since the goal, Madison settling on it more and more. Here's Macias, the goal scorer. Looking ahead for Sicero and nodded back to Nuhu. Looks like Joe Gallardo is dealing with a knock in midfield. Top creative pieces for this Omaha side. 25-year-old who's incredibly versatile. Not the man supporters of Los Bujos want to see on the pitch. Still being tended to. Scored last weekend against Chattanooga. Gonna look to hobble that off. Let's take another look at Aiden Macias' opener for forward Madison. Payne just plays it centrally. Nobody picks up Macias. Doyle doesn't close him down. There's a window, and he blasts that beyond Nuhu at the far post. Really composed finish for the 23-year-old Londoner. That's what separates these two sides 20 minutes in. Looks like that'll do it for Gallardo's night. Steven Dos Santos will be the man to replace him. So a tough break for a guy in Gallardo who is coming along quite nicely the last few matches, and Dos Santos who's fallen out of the regular 11 with an opportunity to re-announce himself. A 6'4", 33-year-old who's known for his ability to trouble in the air, very physical up front. I wonder if that prompts some sort of formational adjustment. Perhaps they drop Dolabella back over to the wing. Dolabella seems like he's come deeper to midfield as a result of that change. For Omaha, when you speak to Coach Casciato, the number one thing that sticks out between last year and this year is the stylistic evolution rather than revolution. Last season, a pressing team, but not one that was known for bossing possession. This year, that is different. This Omaha side still very engaged in the press. They want to overwhelm you, especially with their ferocious front line. But they're trying to build up a bit more this season. At 64% of the ball against Greenville. That ball pops loose, and Shaft Brewer taps it home. A Nebraska lottery goal for the fullback. And a calamitous back pass allows the home side to climb level. Brewer's first goal of the year, and it came right into his lap. Dos Santos going to work on Gebhard. That gets deflected. No Madison player able to scoop it up, and Shaft Brewer at the back post capitalizes and brings Omaha level. A 23-year-old that began his pro career with Los Angeles FC in the MLS in 2018. Made the bulk of his trade in the Norwegian second division before moving back to League One last season. And now, as a regular, rewarded for his constant attacking threat with his first goal of the season. Not much you can do if you're Omaha there. Gebhard was trying to close down Dos Santos on that far side, and a pair of deflections fortuitously bounced right in front of Brewer. And now a set piece for the home side as they look to flip the match on its head. Looking for Dolabella at the back post, and skews off the back of his dome for a goal kick. Dos Santos making that immediate impact. Macias opened the scoring, as you see the summary on your screen in the 14th. Less than 10 minutes later, in the 22nd, Shaft Brewer Jr. leveled things up with his first contribution of the year. And now if you're Coach Glazer for Forward Madison, the question is how many more opportunities you could manufacture against an Omaha side that has enjoyed the bulk of possession. Coming into the weekend, the #1 point of emphasis was scoring more goals and creating more chances. They were clinical with their first major opportunity. I think they'll also enjoy slowing the run of play a bit and minimizing the threat of that Omaha press. And for Madison, goal scoring has been a bit up and down over the course of their existence. Last year, just 34 goals in 30 matches. And they missed the playoffs in large part due to their inability to turn draws into wins. Drew 12 games last season. For Omaha, it was actually the inverse issue to the one they're battling now. Not a lot of goals and incredible defensive solidity. This season, goals have not been the problem. Dolabella dragged down by Martinez, and no whistle on the near flank. Well, this drew the ire of the Omaha Parliament. Dolabella trying to shrug off Martinez, who looked like he relatively cleanly tapped him off it. But then on the ensuing long ball, a whistle that gifts Forward Madison a set piece around midfield. Here's Heel. For forward Madison, a side that began its campaign 6 matches unbeaten, bookended by a surprise 2-0 road victory at North Carolina FC on May 13th. Those are the league leaders who have hit a bit of a wobble these last couple matches. They suffered their first defeat of the year last Thursday against Northern Colorado Hailstorm at Priest-Stevens Field. Now hoping to rebound with a result on the road. Payne. He's unable to keep that 1-2 action in play. Tempers beginning to mount here at Warner Park. Both sides looking for a few more victories, hoping to hit their stride as June rapidly approaches. Both teams just 2 wins on the year. For Union Omaha, that's 1 win in their last 6 matches. They are winless in the last 3. Forward Madison have won 2 of their opening 7, but did begin the year 6 unbeaten. Heel to take this free kick for the home side. Doyle looks for Brito. Osmond clears only as far as Heel. Macias has options ahead, and Cheney awaits support. And Shaft Brewer has been all over the shop here tonight. Opened the game by wreaking havoc down the left, has since moved into that right center back role and offering a little more defensive solidity. It's a match that opened with chances aplenty. Both defenses have begun to slow proceedings down these last few minutes. Brito looks for Meza, and it's just beyond his reach. Noe Meza, always a danger man. 4 goals in his last 4 matches, including that brace on Wednesday against Greenville. This is a decent ball. Osmond may have done just enough to impede his path forward. A 25-year-old who enjoyed that breakout campaign a season ago, is already more than halfway to his goal tally from 2022. Cheney twists through traffic. There's your look at Burns Shipman in a multi-way tie for first place in USL League One in clean sheets. He's saved over 85% of the shots that have come his way. When talking to Coach Glazer about his presence, he says he's so composed. Every match he stepped up and made big stops for them. It's been a big part of the reason why very few teams have taken all 3 points off the Flamingos this year. Bartman dragged down, and that draws a whistle to the ire of the Omaha faithful. See, Martinez took a shove from heel. That's not what drew the whistle. Brito just intervened a bit much. And a yellow brandished as well. Approaching the final 10 minutes of this opening 45.
Ladies and gentlemen, a yellow card
It's a match in which chances and half chances were plenty early on. Both teams capitalized with goals. Then it's gotten a little cagier. Mesa's through though, and may have gotten a bit cute in front of the brick wall that is Shipman. He has another look at it. Noe Mesa for Dolabella. Osman gets his body in the way. Mesa, a big one-on-one chance. Times his run very well between Brotherton and Osmond. Tried to hit it first time and didn't get enough on it. Directed right at Shipman. Keeps forward Madison level. And now Shipman has issues at the back post. Cleaned up by Gebhardt. Yellow card was given to John Skeers moments ago. That was what prompted that free kick. Just the second man in the book, the first Owl to be cautioned here tonight. Question is for forward Madison. Who's going to step up and be that creative piece? Isidro Martinez has been forced a little deeper, had to defend a little more. It's been a lot of Route 1 play out of their defensive third since scoring that first goal. Looks for Dos Santos, and Brotherton wins the foot race. If you're just joining us, an enticing one here at Werner Park. Aiden Macias opening the scoring in the 14th. Shaft Brewer equalizing 8 minutes later after a cross from Dos Santos was deflected by a pair of Flamingos. That's where we stand 10 minutes before the halftime whistle. Not a lot of room for either team to build through midfield, although Omaha has played a bit better through those tight windows. Heel bundled over on the far side as Skiers wins that free kick for the Owls. In that interplay with the former Real Salt Lake man. And Gebhardt, a bit late into that challenge. Heel to deliver this cross. Towards the near post. Runs all the way through to Skiers, who's unable to control it. A couple of eyebrow-raising set-piece deliveries from Omaha tonight. It's a decent ball from Heel. And the Flamingos fortunate the likes of Dolabella and company couldn't get ahead to it. We've spoken so much about the defensive solidity for this Madison side. That Northern Colorado match last Thursday was the first time they'd conceded multiple goals all year. Dos Santos looks to change that. And Dolabella, perhaps a mere matter of inches for touching that into the back of the net. Good run to the byline for Dos Santos, who's made an impact since entering this contest. Delivers this in beyond the reach of Meza. Dolabella just behind Payne. As in the midst of all that chaos, Nazim Bartman earns himself a yellow. Presented by Hale Varsity Club. Another Modelo corner kick for Los Bujos. Good outswinger, looks for Meza. Hoofed clear by Bartman. An animated discussion between Matt Glazer and the lead official. And clearly whatever explanation he heard for that yellow on Bartman didn't assuage his concerns. Glazer, a decorated assistant in his first head coaching gig. He's a standout goalkeeper at the University of Hartford, was named America East Goalkeeper of the Year in 2007. Played professionally for 7 seasons and has experience throughout the USL Championship, was part of that Real Monarch staff that won the USL Championship title in 2019. Hoping for a similar fate in his tenure with the Flamingos. And he says their #1 mission is to be incredibly difficult to build against. He wants center backs that can handle the ball in space. He wants defensive organization prioritized above all, and this season they've certainly done that. That goal Brewer scored was just the 5th they've conceded in what is now 7.5 contests. Here's Martinez, still looking to grow into this match. At his best, can be a true magician on the ball. Pings it long for Payne. And Brewer does just enough to usher out a play for a goal kick. As halftime beckons, the real question for forward Madison is if they can stem the tide. Press has certainly become more overwhelming. Omaha's been in control of proceedings throughout the bulk of this first, and those snapshot half chances, one of which yielded the Flamingos the opener, have not been as apparent these last 20 minutes or so. Here's Sachero. Doyle does well to maneuver past 3 Flamingos. Looking for Meza, who's slowly beginning to make his imprint on this one. Heel. No issues for Shipman. Halftime beckoning, and as it stands, both sides with more work to do as they look to avoid yet another draw on their records. It's a major opportunity for both these squads. Union Omaha's played just 8 matches, Madison 7. A couple games in hand to shoot their way up the League One table. The issue has been settling for 1 point instead of 3 throughout the majority of this season. Bartman looks for Payne, and that's a little beyond his reach. Moments away from learning how much added time here in the first half. And now hearing word it's going to be 3 minutes, which separates these two sides from their halftime team talks. Here's Dolabella, bundled down on the edge of the area, and the whistle comes. It's now a question of whether he was inside or outside that 18. As of now, they're indicating it'll be a free kick. Let's take another look at this. Good ball from Brewer. Dolabella clearly onside, and Osmond knocked him down what looks to be just on the edge. Yes, that is the right decision. Would have been a very harsh penalty if he were in the 18. Instead, a tight angle set piece. Three-man wall. Heel stands over it. Whips into the box, and it's beyond every man in black. Good cross. And it just evaded the reach of Luca Mastrantonio. And the call is now changed into the 4th Modelo corner kick of the night for Los Bujos. Intriguing ball, and Skier's unable to steer it on target. Dolabella takes some contact from Sachero, one that does not move the official. And the final minute of added time here on ESPN Plus. And the whistle goes about 60 seconds early. Union Omaha and Forward Madison level at 1 apiece. Aiden Macias opened the scoring in the 14th. Shaft Brewer equalized 8 minutes later. And that takes us into the Courtyard by Marriott halftime show. It was a half largely bossed by Union Omaha, but unable to find a second before the intermission. We'll step aside for halftime here on ESPN+.
My name is Yoskar Galvin. I'm a midfielder for Union Omaha. I mean, it was exciting because at first I really didn't think I was going to get schooling, but my mom was pressuring me, and obviously I pressured myself to get my studies done because it's really important to me and my family. So right now I'm trying to get my generals out of the way and try to figure out what I want to do. I want to get my minor, obviously, and then try to see if I want to do my master's, but that's just been my goal since I was a little kid in my parents' school, my parents' dream, and that's the dream that I want to fulfill for them. And obviously playing professional and having school is just an amazing thing. I mean, getting school for free is an amazing feat, and obviously getting it from your team and just Bellevue being so supportive. I mean, every counselor, every helper for the school has been helpful a lot, and I've been learning. My name is Yoskar, and I'm a Bellevue University student.
Bags are packed, are you ready to go? This time tomorrow we'll be on the road, riding with you in the sunnier days. I wouldn't want it any other way. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Back here on ESPN Plus for the Courtyard by Marriott La Vista Conference Center halftime show. It's 1 apiece after 45 minutes between Union Omaha and Forward Madison FC. And it's an eventful week in USL League One. Northern Colorado Hailstorm playing their first match at the Future Legends Complex tonight against Central Valley Fuego FC, a Northern Colorado side that has seen numerous different home grounds throughout their tenure as a club, potentially finding their permanent home this season as they embark on another campaign in USL League One. Let's take an in-depth look at the Future Legends Complex in Northern Colorado.
With the opening of the Future Legends Complex, it got us thinking about home here at USL League One, and more particular, home venues. Starting with all across the league, we've had clubs have different homes throughout their time in USL League One. Of course, the Hailstorm now on to home field number 4, but I think they're going to be lodged into that 4th spot for quite a long time now. Meanwhile, Toronto FC 2, for those of you who remember from 2021, played at 3 different home venues in one season. And not only were they different home venues, they were in entirely different parts of the continent. Arizona, Florida, and then, of course, back home in Toronto at BMO Training Ground. Also worth mentioning, Madison, one of the many of the 6 clubs that have been at 2 parts. They played at Hart Park in Wauwatosa in 2020 when they couldn't play at Breese Stevens Field, but which puts them behind Richmond at City Stadium when it comes to most games at a single venue. City Stadium leading the way in that regard, and they're going to lead the pack for quite a while. I don't see Richmond going anywhere else. Interesting note, the other 3 teams that are on this list, or at least the venues they played at, are no longer in use in USL League One. Keno North Stadium is still being used, but it's in USL League Two now with FC Tucson. Legacy Early College not in use anymore, Greenville going to Paladin Stadium. And then, of course, Tormenta leaving Irk Russell Park for their shiny new venue halfway through last year, or more like 3/4 of the way through last season, just in time for them to host a League One title game. When it comes to win percentage, though, Werner Park shouldn't come to much of a surprise. for USL League One fans who have been watching for the past 2 years. The different dimensions of that park with how narrow it is, the way the pitch is. Union Omaha plays there more often than everyone else, and thus are more used to the way that pitch works, how it plays, what are the best tactics to use to find points, to find victories. Omaha has been so good at getting draws when they should be losing, getting wins when it could be a draw, because they just know how to play their game at Werner Park. Also worth noting, these are the only 4 clubs with above a 60% win percentage at these respective venues. And of course that counts draws as 0.5 when it comes to win percentage at that point in time. So when it comes to home and field advantage, these are the place to go, and there's really not much separating anybody else from joining into that pack. When it comes to scoring at home, I think it's pretty standard that Emiliano Terzaghi would be at the top of this list with how many goals he has bagged throughout his time in USL League One. Surely he scored a ton of them in front of his home venue at City Stadium. Juan Galindra is on that list at CHI Memorial Stadium. And then that championship run year for Union Omaha, Evan Conway and Greg Hurst both going on a tear that season. As a whole, of course, a lot of those goals going to be coming at Werner Park. And then last but not least, though, there are some venues that may be circling names and saying we're not allowing this guy to come back. Azad Liadi with a hat trick in that wild 4-4 game in 2021 with Tormenta. And then Ronaldo Damas with the fastest hat trick in 30 minutes at BMO Training Ground. And then Garrett McLaughlin with Toronto scoring 3 goals at Wake Med Soccer Park and then joining North Carolina FC. I hope you've been enjoying this content. We'll see you on the other side on ESPN+.
Sometimes the ball doesn't bounce your way. Sometimes you feel alone, like your world is collapsing, like there's no hope. But you're not alone. Someone is there to listen, to talk, to help you up. The United Soccer League is proud to support the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, because everyone needs support.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Are you ready? Ready for more of the game you love? Ready for more players and more teams? Ready for more stadiums, for more fans in more cities? This is a different league. The USL Super League. Built for the future of women's soccer. Bridging the journey from youth to pro, connected to the global game, and bringing it all closer to home. Are you ready?
Back here at Werner Park in Papillion, Nebraska. It's the Omaha La Vista Courtyard halftime show. Union Omaha level with Forward Madison at 1 apiece here on ESPN+. Let's take a deeper look at some of the news and happenings around USL League One. Of course, we mentioned the Future Legends Complex for Northern Colorado Hailstorm, the 30th venue to host a USL League One match. Also, an action-packed week next week. It'll be the first time since September 11th, 2021 that all 12 teams will be in action in USL League One. And of course, the player of the week, João Gamero, had 3 goals in 2 matches for Richmond Kickers. He is the headliner of that team of the week for week 10. A busy night in USL League One tonight as well. 4 different matches currently going on. Charlotte Independence with a 3-0 victory over Chattanooga Red Wolves. They have had an impressive 2-match stretch. Meanwhile, Northern Colorado opening the Future Legends complex on a high note, 4-0 over Central Valley Fuego. Lexington and 1 Knoxville level at 1 apiece in stoppage time, and South Georgia Tormenta and Richmond Kickers in a duel as many would have expected coming in. We've talked about the busy week ahead, and on Saturday, 12 clubs in action. This Union Omaha side traveling to the American Legion Memorial Stadium to take on Charlotte Independence. And meanwhile, Forward Madison, they'll be hosting Central Valley Fuego at Bree Stevens Field. Some other standout matches as well. Greenville hosting Tormenta at 7 Eastern next Saturday. Still 1-1 here after 45 minutes between Union Omaha and Forward Madison FC. We're going to take another quick break on the halftime show. Just 45 minutes left in this one as Omaha has 3 points at Warner Park.
I think the thing I'm most looking forward to is working with the players on a day-to-day basis and building the team. I think first and foremost it's about building a style and seeing a team that really reflects, what we want here in Omaha. So making sure that everybody is on the same page, making sure everyone works together, making sure that everyone understands their role and gives everything in every game. It's a group that's won. Right? It's an experienced group of quality players that's won. And I think you've got a nice mix of youth and experience there. Guys that know the league, guys that know what it takes to win in this league. So just really looking forward to working with them. I think the first thing is a really identifiable style. A team that plays with a clear system where anybody can come, watch the game and say, okay, I can see what they're trying to do today. I can see what the coach's ideas are, I can see the quality of the players. So I think just having that identity being really, really strong is super important. I think if you talk about on the pitch or in the changing room, you're looking at a mentality where everybody puts the team above their own needs, right? And where everybody is willing to sacrifice their own desires for what's best for the team.
Bags are packed, are you ready to go? This time tomorrow we'll be on the road, riding with you into sunnier days. I wouldn't want it any other way. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Back here on ESPN Plus here at Warner Park, Union Omaha and Forward Madison level at 1-1. Macias and Brewer, the goal scorers tonight. Let's take a more in-depth look at some of the standout moments from that first half, one which was very eventful early, but began to slow in a more cagey contest later on. It started with a couple half chances for Omaha. Shaft Brewer, a great run on the near side, and won an early corner for Union Omaha. Also caused some trouble with the set pieces. A good delivery there, and Dolabella got his dome to it. From there, though, Forward Madison opened the scoring. It was against the grain of play. Stephen Payne looking for options. Well, there's Aiden Macias. Nobody closes him down, and Macias, a rocket into the far left corner to open proceedings with a goal. But then 8 minutes later in the 22nd, Steven Dos Santos, the substitute, his cross gets deflected twice, and Shaft Brewer Jr. taps it beyond the on-rushing Burn Shipman to give Omaha the lead. From there, one more standout chance. Noe Meza threw on goal a one-on-one, his first time hit. Not enough to take it beyond the star goalkeeper. From there, Dos Santos, who grew into the match very well, whips this across, and it's just beyond the reach of Dolabella, who was inches from a potential second goal before the break. Here are the halftime stats brought to you by the Simple Man. Union Omaha outshooting Madison 9-1. They've had 55% of the ball. Really began to dominate that match around the midway stages of the first half, but still awaiting more final product on the score sheet. They've had a couple chances denied by Shipman. Meanwhile, for forward Madison, just looking for answers. Had a couple half chances early. They've barely seen possession in the attacking third the last 30 minutes or so. Just about set for the start of the second half here from Werner Park. Part of a 3-match in 7-day stretch for Union Omaha. Meanwhile, the visitors forward Madison, after that quick start, looking to reestablish a foothold in this match after the restart. The nightcap here in USL League One on this eventful Saturday night. A pair of sides that are direct neighbors in the League One table, hoping to make that push towards the playoff spots before the calendar turns to June. Brito gets us underway for the final 45 as the sun begins to set at Werner Park. It's all up for the taking for both these sides here in the second half of play. That first half, a fast start for Madison. Aiden Macias scored the opener. Then Shaft Brewer 8 minutes later. We showed you in the halftime highlights package a poacher's finish at the far post after a deflected cross by Dos Santos. That is the only shot that they've been able to beat Shipman with all night. No changes either way. The only substitution came in the first half for Union Omaha after Joe Gallardo went down with an injury around the 20th minute. Steven Dos Santos has been very impactful since entering the action. Skeers surveys for options ahead. A big talking point for Union Omaha entering this match was the change of formation. Trotted out a 3-5-2 to combat Madison's usual formation. It has had its pluses and minuses. They've had to play Shaft Brewer, who's known as more of an attack-minded right back, in that outside center back role for the bulk of the evening. He still managed to get forward and has scored his first goal this season tonight. It certainly has altered some of their normal build-up networks. The press has been equally effective, though. Brito takes that one right off of Gebhard and draws the late whistle. For Union Omaha, it's about maintaining that momentum they took in at halftime. Coach Casciato said he felt like against Greenville on Wednesday, they were dominant the full 90. Talked about those 3 isolated moments that resulted in goals. Did get caught with a wobble in the 74th minute and 76th. But otherwise, he felt they were very solid. He said against Chattanooga last weekend up at CHI Memorial Stadium, it was a different story. He said that first half they were dominant. The second, they let it slip. And despite the 2 separate leads they took in that second half, they were unable to come away with all 3 points and nearly salted it away at the death. That man, Noe Meza, began to make his impact felt towards the tail end of that first half. Goal for Omaha is finding him between the lines as much as possible tonight. A man who has scored 4 in his last 4, fresh off that brace on Wednesday. Here's Mastrantonio making his 4th consecutive start. Has gone the full 90 in each of the last 3. Isidro Martinez, not as involved as Flamingo fans would have hoped. Was a magician who bossed proceedings against North Carolina on May 13th. Guy who, at his best, can dictate the run of play between the lines. Here's Meza. Tussle with Brotherton and cleared only as far as Brito. Dos Santos. Perhaps Omaha's best on-ball creator with the exception of maybe Shaft Brewer in those opening 45 minutes. Speaking to Dom Casciato ahead of the Chattanooga match last week, his biggest concern was being a little more ruthless in the final third. They've shown that the last couple matches, but it'll take a little more clinical finishing here tonight if they hope to come away with all 3 points. Here's Cheney for forward Madison. Looks to the back stick for Cicero, cleared only as far as Martinez. A star with Central Valley. That ball comes through to Cicero, and the flag comes up before he can slap that home. Looks like the right call from the linesman. Cicero timing his run just a beat early. This is a Madison team that has, entering tonight, had created increasingly more threat going forward and enjoyed the bulk of the ball in a couple of their recent matches. But here tonight, they've been overran a bit. They're hoping the restart turns their fortunes back in the right direction. And that'll help as Macias, the goal scorer, wins a corner. First corner of the second half for either side, and it comes in the 52nd as Isidro Martinez, the 26-year-old magician, ventures over for this outswinger. Right into the heart of the area, cleared only as far as Payne. Cheney in a tussle with Dolabella, and he finishes it off. Christian Cheney with his 3rd of the year, and forward Madison back in front. How about this bit of skill from the Fresno, California product? First ball cleared very well. It's the second ball, though, a header from Payne. Cheney just boxes Dolabella off it. Second touch with his outside of his boot. And a little acrobatics to go along with it. And suddenly, forward Madison yet again against the grain of play, reclaim the lead on the road. Well, Cheney, with both of his first 2 goals, earned goal of the week. And I'm sure that bit of athleticism and skill will certainly put him in consideration here in week 11. Madison back in front, Christian Cheney in the 53rd. Cheney came over from Central Valley Fuego this offseason, was 9th in USL League One in goals a season ago. This year was 2nd in shots, but had really been struggling to be clinical. Here tonight, that's no issue. An unbelievable finish. Now Brewer hunting a swift reply as Omaha needs to go back to work going forward. Arcing cross for Heel. And brought down by Skeers. Low cross, tapped in! And Luis Heel narrowly misses the near post. And it took a deflection, so a Modelo corner kick for the Owls. Good overlapping run from Skeers. Cuts it back, a first-time hit. That deflected right off of Osmond. Not much Shipman would have been able to do between the sticks there. Fortunate deflection. And now Macias appears to be clutching that right ankle. The man who opened the scoring for the Flamingos. We were wondering where Madison would manufacture their chances. Came from a corner kick, the second ball off a header from Payne, and Christian Cheney doing the rest, using his upper body strength and a finesse finish to give the Flamingos another 1-goal lead. Just one side has cracked forward Madison for multiple goals. Omaha will have to make it 2 to get a result here at Werner Park. Don't miss a minute of the action in 2023. Whether your club is on the road or at home, catch nearly every second of USL League One action on ESPN+, the home to USL, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com. The USL on ESPN continues as the summer heats up. Memphis 901 FC and Aaron Malloy head to the Valley of the Sun to face Manuel Arteaga and Phoenix Rising FC. It's Phoenix Rising FC and Memphis 901 FC Saturday, July 1st at 11 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. Shipman receiving a yellow for time wasting. 3rd Madison player to receive a Hale Varsity Club yellow card tonight. If you're just joining us, this is a match that Union Omaha has largely controlled, but they find themselves in a 2-1 hole. Some defensive miscues that have come back to bite them the last couple games, rearing their heads once more. Christian Cheney, the most recent goal scorer for the Flamingos, breaking the deadlock in the 53rd with his 3rd goal of the year, the former Central Valley Fuego star. Certainly be glad to see that fly in the back of the net. It's an Omaha side that has lost just once all year. They are 3 matches winless, but all of them are draws. They are unbeaten in their last 5 entering tonight. In an unfamiliar position, trailing in this one at home. Dos Santos flicks it off his hand, and that draws the whistle from the official. Tuba dos Santos, a product of Tampa Bay Rowdies, is 7th all-time in the USL Championship in goals. They'll need him to up that goal tally here tonight if Omaha hopes for results here at Warner Park. What's so impressive is the pedigree throughout this Omaha side. Connor Doyle, a former Derby County player back in their championship days from 2010 to 2013. Talked about Rashid Nuhu and all A-10 keeper at Fordham. And then they've got guys like Dos Santos, played for one of the top clubs in USL Championship in Tampa Bay, a side that regularly is in Eastern Conference title contention. And then they've got the young, exciting pieces in Noe Meza and Pedro Dolabella. Results haven't quite gone their way in the early stages of this season, but they certainly have the talent to figure things out. And that's not even mentioning the MLS pedigree and the U.S. men's national team history of Luis Heel. Approaching the 1 hour mark, and the Flamingos find themselves in front as they look for an unlikely 3 points at Warner Park. Not many teams come to Omaha and take all 3 from Los Pujos. Payne looks to switch the play for Gebhardt, and that evades everyone. Doyle looks for Meza, who gets a touch to it. And a little heavy into the gloves of Shipman. You wonder, if you are an Omaha supporter, how much the legs hold up in these final 30 minutes and change. They've already played 2 games in the last 7 days. Have engaged in a bit of squad rotation, but not a ton. It's not the deepest Omaha squad. And obviously the early injury to Gallardo limits the number of fresh legs you can trot off the bench here. Meanwhile for Madison, they haven't played since last Thursday. They've had time to rest up ahead of a stretch where they look to surge up the table. Here's Brito. He's got room. Looking for Meza. And Brotherton, no issues poking that clear. Heel. Cheney, the most recent goal scorer. And the ball a little too hot for Payne. Christian Cheney, 28 years of age, has played in a slew of different locations over the course of his decorated career. Career goal number 31 came 10 minutes ago to break the deadlock. Guy who dominated at the NISA level as well with LA Force. Played 5 seasons in the USL Championship to begin his professional days as well. All of that experience paying dividends as they look to snatch all 3 points here in Papillion, Nebraska. Kroll concedes the free kick. They'll have some defending to do. Another tight window free kick for Luis Heel. And Doyle's follow-up effort sails over the crossbar. A midfield metronome, the 31-year-old. Couple changes for Union Omaha. Junior Palacios will replace Connor Doyle, a guy who's played almost every minute this season. Also, Joe Brito vacating the action for Shivani Willis. Willis, a 25-year-old from Kingston, Jamaica, 7 caps with the Jamaican men's national team. Meanwhile, Junior Palacios, a guy who's fallen out of the regular 11 in favor of Luca Mastrantonio. He slides back into the lineup here tonight. So 3 changes now for Union Omaha. Forward Madison has not gone to their reserves yet. You wonder if that prompts a change of formation. Bringing off Doyle for a guy like Palacios potentially signifies a change to their more normal 4-4-2. Meanwhile, Willis, a box-to-box midfielder like Brito. Here's a look at that most recent free kick. Dos Santos charging into the back of Bartman. And it's a no question whistle. For Junior Palacios, a very decorated center back. Came over from Miami FC, leads the team in long passes completed. But hit a bit of a rocky patch. Came on against Chattanooga and conceded that late penalty. For him, it's about rebuilding his confidence. A guy with a world of ability who seems to be deployed in that holding midfield spot Doyle vacated. Here's Willis. Looks for Brewer on the far side, and a throw for Los Bujos. Brewer linking with Meza. Omaha reestablishing control over the possession battle, but struggling to build through those tight windows in the final third. Here's Meza. Finds Dolabella. Now for Brewer. Taps it back in for Luis Heel. Another major deflection for forward Madison. Prevents a point-blank Luis Heel opportunity from troubling Shipman between the sticks. This is the best spell of interplay we've seen all second half for Union Omaha. Heel, second touch. Kroll gets his body in the way and takes the sting out of it. A frustrating evening for Heel, who's been in that situation twice in the second half alone. Since the goal, it has been all Omaha on the possession front. Forward Madison has put just 2 shots on goal, and both have found the back of the net. They've been very clinical And they've executed that defensive game plan to perfection. For Union Omaha, they've had their spells of scintillating football, but it has not been as clinical in the final third as I'm sure Coach Casciato would have hoped. As Macias is taking his fair share of bumps and bruises tonight. Approaching the final 20 minutes of action here from Werner Park. And as things stand, a defensive masterclass for forward Madison sees them in line to steal all 3 points here in Papillion. Dolabella looking to flip the script. Now Brewer, the lone goal scorer for Los Bujos tonight. Willis. And Skeers. Wins another Modelo corner kick for the home side. Derek Gebhardt tracking back and deflecting the cross out of play. Heel to take this outswinger. Towards the back post, knotted down by Dolabella, and just bounces over Burn Shipman's crossbar. Has been that kind of night for Union Omaha through 70 minutes. A lot of decent chances, but haven't been able to trouble Shipman. This is a towering header into the dirt by Dolabella, the only thing you can really do in that situation. Got Shipman's attention, but wasn't quite on target. Willis surging through the center of midfield. Tries a long ranger. Shipman was off his line, but it didn't come down in time. A heart and throat moment for Madison fans, but one that doesn't yield any product on the scoreboard. As Matt Glazer will head to his substitutes for the first time tonight. Two changes. Derek Gebhardt will make way for the forward Wolfgang Prentice. And Aiden Macias vacates the action for Eric Connerty. Connerty making just his 4th appearance of the year, the 22-year-old, a Western Michigan product, who led the Broncos to their 2nd ever MAC championship a few months ago. Meanwhile, Prentice, on loan from Oakland Roots, joined the club on April 10th. Making his 6th appearance, is featured in every match since being loaned out to the club. So to some degree, like for like, Gebhardt, a forward by trade who was playing wing back all season. He steps out for a guy in Prentice who may fill a similar void. Meanwhile, Macias, the center midfielder, being replaced by Connerty, who's more known as a holding midfielder or defender. Willis has been involved since entering the fray moments ago. Dolabella, still loose, Meza! Took a deflection off Kroll. And yet another Modelo corner kick for Los Bujos. looking for that magical moment. Heel stood up for Bartman, and he clears over for Brewer. Subsequent delivery for Dos Santos. Forward Madison flashing that defensive solidity, always calm under fire. And now countering, Payne. Omaha has done so well to control the run of play. But as they approach that penalty area, have really struggled to build through those minuscule areas of space. Noe Meza has had some bright moments, but has rarely had time on the ball. Since Dos Santos' impactful cross to level the scoreline, he's faced a similar predicament. Luis Seal has also been limited to sporadic moments of brilliance, and Dom Casciato still looking for answers as Omaha enters the final quarter of an hour trailing. Palacios switches the play for Willis. Looks for Dos Santos, and Brotherton will cede another Modelo corner kick. Heel tries once more. They'll have another crack at it here. Back post. Palacios. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesday nights at 7 Eastern. Plus hear live matches from the USL, MLS, English Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the SXM app. Into the final quarter of an hour here from Werner Park, and the home side Union Omaha staring a first defeat in the last 6 contests in the face. A 5-match unbeaten run hangs in the balance for the home side. It's an Omaha team that has had to settle for back-to-back draws despite leading late in the second half against Chattanooga Red Wolves and at home on Wednesday against Greenville Triumph. Here tonight, they've never led. Somewhat uncharted territory for an Owl side that has lost just once all year. Cheney denies the advantage, and a yellow shown to the substitute Willis. Second Omaha man booked. Dolabella losing this. Good interception by Martinez. Bartman just clattering into Dolabella. Willis wasn't even the man involved in the action, but he's the man booked. And now a defensive swap. Bartman's gotten himself into a fair few interchanges. Robert Screen, the defender, is going to replace the man on the front line as the physio staff tending to the 29-year-old. So clear defensive swap for Glazer. You wonder how much this is motivated by the injury as well. Bartman, a key contributor as a reserve last season, a regular in the 11, scored 5 goals. So as they tend to Bartman, screen awaits the referee's signal. A 23-year-old defender from Raleigh, North Carolina, star at Kentucky, two-time All-Conference USA second-teamer, led his team to their second-ever Conference USA tournament title. When you think about the pedigree of that Kentucky program, it's great experience to have for a guy who's certainly played in high-pressure situations. So he'll be under fire these last 10 minutes. So the substitute made official. Robert Screen, a fullback by trade, will replace the forward Bartman. Three substitutes used by both squads. If you're just joining us, this is a scoreline that neutral viewing would not say is indicative of the run of play. That does not make this performance any less impressive from forward Madison. They've popped up with goals at key moments. They've defended incredibly well and played to their strengths tonight. They've done so well defending in the final third as well. So much emergency defending. They look so calm while doing it. You're beginning to see why only one side has hit them for multiple goals all year. Willis looking to change that. And he wins yet another Modelo corner kick. I think the fans know who the corner kick is presented by as well, if the stadium noise is any indication. All up to their feet, looking to urge their Bujos on. Brewer looks for Meza. It's not for the want of trying for Omaha. Just trying to find that last-ditch touch. Right now, that has been what's eluded them tonight. Tremendous support from the Omaha Parliament and the various supporters groups all year here at Warner Park. Forward Madison with 8 minutes plus stoppage time to hold on to an eyebrow-raising 3 points. Here in Papillion, Dos Santos wins the foot race to the touchline. Back across for Heel. His clearest opportunity, the match sails just a tad high. That's the second or third time Luis Heel has received a cutback right in front of goal. The first two were deflected. This is his best effort from a little further out and got underneath it a touch much. But the chances continue to come for Omaha. Luis Heel, so experienced. Over 140 career appearances with Real Salt Lake in the MLS. He's played across America and all over the globe. The top chance creator in USL League One has probably been the most involved for Omaha here tonight. Still awaiting that first goal of the campaign, though. looks to pull the strings from midfield. Good ball forward for Brewer. The lone man to find the back of the net for Union Omaha tonight. Coach Glazer has emphasized defensive solidity throughout his tenure. Here tonight, that's been on full display from the Flamingos. They've got 6 minutes and change to weather the storm. Brewer's cross cleared only as far as Willis. And Screen picks his pocket. Coach Casciato, it's been about being ruthless. They'll need to flash their teeth in front of goal if they hope to come away with a result tonight. Martinez switches the play for Payne. No trouble for Newhoop. Still 3 at the back for Omaha. It appears Brewer has been transformed into that wing back after opening the night as more of an outside center back. Suahi, Palacios, and Master Antonio, the 3 center backs. Ball comes wide for Brewer. He's made residence down that near side all evening. Here's Master Antonio, a Rome, Italy product for Brewer. Got underneath that cross a bit much. It's Union Omaha's 3rd match of the year at Werner Park. Hoping to avoid going winless in their 3 matches in this last week. Need a dramatic turnaround to avoid that fate. And it appears Sachero may be laboring on that far side. Francis Janot Baptiste will be the man to replace Sachero. Baptiste with his 2nd consecutive appearance off the substitutes bench. A 23-year-old from Newham, England. He's played just 14 minutes this year. Dos Santos knocks that off a Madison defender, and the whistle comes late for a Modelo corner. Are there late dramatics in store at Werner Park? Heel for Willis. He'll get another crack at it, and it's right at Shipman. And the set piece execution for Omaha, lacking a tad here in the second half. Into the final minute of regular time here on ESPN Plus. Union Omaha still chasing that elusive second equalizer. A 5-match unbeaten run hangs in the balance for Los Bujos. Forward Madison looking for their second win in the last 3. And we're hearing word that they'll have to weather 5 more minutes of stoppage time to steal all 3 points here. As it stands, Christian Chaney is in line to be the hero with his second goal against Union Omaha this season. Came in the 53rd minute, and that's what separates these two sides. Officially 5 minutes of added time. As the two sides who are direct neighbors in the League One table hope for a colossal 3 points in the playoff hunt. Payne's cross, looks for Chaney! And Nuhu got down in time. Chaney got into a great position, unmarked. Was the 6'2 forward, but Rashid Nuhu keeping Los Bujos within striking distance. And how many massive saves has Rashid Nuhu made for Omaha over the course of his tenure with the club? Preserved a point on the road at Chattanooga on Wednesday. There's a reason why he's the 2-time Gold Glove winner in League One. Madison has one more substitute if they'd like to use it. I wonder if for time-wasting purposes, that comes into effect. Terrific defensive display from forward Madison. And a general defensive masterclass is what is largely to credit for this victory, although 2 fantastic clinical finishes currently makes the difference. This Flamingos team is incredibly tough to break down, and Los Bujos finding it out firsthand tonight. The final 2 minutes of added time here from Werner Park. Nuhu looks long for Meza. And Payne is back to win that foot race. This is where Madison becomes so difficult to break down. Their wing backs trained very well for that position. A guy in Stephen Payne, who's more of a more natural midfielder by trade. Just add an extra body into that back line. Can really generate nothing down the flanks when the fullbacks are parked. That's what makes a three-man back line so effective. In addition to its ability to counter through midfield, Madison's employed that to perfection tonight. Screen. That draws the flag on the far side. Potentially time for one more attack for the home side. Prentice surging out of trouble. Switches the play, now in for Baptiste. And Omaha will have one more crack at it. And instead, Dos Santos will be whistled. And is that the final chance that goes begging? Dos Santos also a yellow card, likely for something he said to the official. And still expressing his displeasure. Cheney loses out for a throw. We'll see if they give Los Bujos time for one more attack. Already beyond the allotted added time. And the whistle goes. Forward Madison with a defensive performance for the ages as they secure all 3 points here at Werner Park. An unbelievable performance defensively, and Christian Cheney the difference maker. Meanwhile, the Platinum Chiropractic and Wellness Man of the Match is Shaft Brewer Jr. for Union Omaha, who was terrific in that first half and scored the initial equalizer. But not enough, as Cheney's second goal against Los Bujos of the year allows forward Madison to steal all 3 points on the road and end a 5-match Omaha unbeaten run. We'll step aside here on ESPN Plus when we return on a more in-depth look at what just transpired on the pitch. A terrific performance from the Flamingos gives them all 3 points here in Papillion.
My name is Connor Doyle, and I'm a midfielder with Union Omaha. I was excited. It was obviously not a big reason why I came here, but Jay mentioned it as being a possibility of once joining the team, it was going to be a partnership with the club, and getting towards the end of my career, it was obviously a thing that I wanted to look towards finishing my degree, and so with a chance of getting a scholarship and kind of getting those things paid for, it was definitely pretty exciting and special. Like I said, I'm kind of nearing the end of my career in the next few years, and so it's kind of looking forward to that next step in life, and degrees go a big way in helping people make those next steps, so it's kind of the reason why I decided to finally get back into it. It's a big deal, because you know, there's guys like Yoskar who have the chance to kind of go pro at 18, but also you could go to a college and get a 4-year degree and maybe have a scholarship that way, but this gets things paid for, and he can be in a professional environment from a young age and learn. And so I think that's a big deal in terms of getting guys up through kind of the academy and stuff, and you can still promise them a degree and an education along with being in a professional environment. My name is Connor Doyle, and I am a Bellevue University student.
Back here at Werner Park in Papillion, Nebraska, as the visitors forward Madison celebrate all 3 points here on the road as they end a 5-match Union Omaha unbeaten run. Let's take a look at some of those standout moments from what wound up being a really enthralling contest tonight. Forward Madison was under fire all night, and it began with this free kick, a solid header from Dolabella, good save from Shipman. But then they opened the scoring. Good interplay between Macias and Payne. Macias receiving the cutback, weaving through a sea of black. Nobody closes him down, and he says, I'll take that for a 1-0 lead, his first goal of the year. But Union Omaha firing right back 8 minutes later. The substitute Steven Dos Santos surging down the flank. It's deflected twice. And the beneficiary, Shaft Brewer Jr., perhaps the liveliest attacker for Union Omaha tonight. And it didn't end there. Good delivery between the lines for Meza. Tried to hit it first time, may have regretted it. And then in the second half, the 53rd minute is what makes the difference. Payne's header back into the fray. Cheney takes one touch, fires it with the outside of his boot into the top left corner. And that is what made the difference for Forward Madison. Cheney's third goal of the year is second against Los Bujos, and an acrobatic celebration to bookend a terrific performance from the Flamingos. And as you look at the stats, I think these numbers will frustrate Coach Casciato and company. 21 shots, but just 3 found the frame. Meanwhile, Forward Madison put all 3 of their shots on target, 2 of which beat Rashid Nuhu, and a performance in which they had just 38% of the ball. The Flamingos claiming all 3 points at Werner Park. Those stats presented by the Simple Man. Here's your look at all the final scores throughout USL League One. Charlotte Independence making that push towards the top of the table with a 3-0 victory over Chattanooga Red Wolves. The other standout result, a pair of 1-1 draws, South Georgia Tormenta and Richmond Kickers, and Lexington and Knoxville in the battle of expansion clubs, all level. That does it for our coverage here from Werner Park in Papillion, Nebraska. Forward Madison Football Club with all 3 points, a 2-1 victory as Christian Cheney and Aiden Macias make the difference for the visitors. We'd like to thank you for tuning in. For Sam Goldfarb and all of our terrific ESPN Plus crew, you've been watching USL League One on ESPN Plus. Have a good night, everyone.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League League One cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League League One.